much do your balls weigh?
I didn't measure.
Oh my God. On average, about 3 to 5 pounds.
More than 2.
Oh man. Oh, it's too early for this.
So,
Good God.
Clay's a little stiff today.
So you actually didn't measure?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
All the scales are being used, so I just decided to go for it.
Alright.
You're just like, this feels like enough today.
I wanted to do something reasonably large so I could demonstrate the issue of volume.
Mallory asked me how much I was throwing last night. I was like, me? Damned if I know. See that big round on the wheel? It's that much. Andrew and I estimated it at 8 to 9 pounds.
And, you know, I have a hard time throwing 3 pounds sometimes.
For me, it's not the throwing, it's the wedging of that much clay.
I'm not even the wedging. I'm really glad that Fleur showed us how to use the rollerblade tool for that, because that is brilliant.
Yeah, it is. Did she leave one behind?
Yeah.
Did she?
I think so.
Oh, she did.
She said she was going to leave it because the one that she left last time mysteriously disappeared.
With one of the 4th years?
Yeah.
Shame that
So I think somebody graduated and they were like, I use this a lot. Yoink.
I love the fact that you don't need water for it because the wheels move. And the heck, you can keep it consistent with. Like, it was about, when I had it, it was like about at that height, and it was an inch thick all the way up.
Did you get those pictures that I took of Mallory throwing?
Yeah,
Did Katrina send them? Okay.
I was embracing you on something at some point.
I was quite pleased with myself for doing that.
I'll take my glasses off. I can't see you.
Would you like me to remove your glasses? I hate doing things after I'm muddy.
Oh, I know. It's like inevitably, that's always when your face itches, right?
I know, and then you're kind of like, oh.
Or it's always when you're here, it's your facial when you push your glasses up your nose.
You've always got like...
I always
Clay
end
on
up
your
having
glasses.
clay on my face.
I think one day I just like...
Mallory doesn't have like Harry Potter fixed glasses. She has a big wad of clay in the middle.
Greg could probably relate to this, as you're trying to push your glasses back up your nose using the one finger that is not completely filthy, and you get clay on your face anyways.
Yeah, I know. I love walking around the college when everybody else is all dressed in these academic meetings. Putting on my shirt.
Throwing clothes.
What I don't understand is the people who come to school and they look really, really fancy, and they're all like, look at my long scarf down to my crotch, and they just sort of lean.
You'd always see people dressed like that up in the jewelry studio, right?
Yeah.
And
Hold on while I lean over the burner.
Yeah. I have, it's the pickling solution. Puts little pinholes in your clothing all the time, and I ruined like 4 t-shirts.
So I'm not actually going to make the jar right now. I put extra clay on here because I want to show you how to practice making the flange. So what I'm going to suggest you do is to put one of your 2-pound balls of clay on first and practice this flange making business. And just keep cutting them off, practice making another one, cutting it off until you get it right, and then make the jar. Okay? So I'm kind of doing everything at once for you. So I'm just going to throw the very top edge of this. Okay, so say this is going to be the
It's a cute little jar.
opening of my jar here, and I've got a nice thick bead on top. Okay, I wouldn't go too much thinner than about that. And when you're making the flanges, really try to ensure that there's not too much slip on top. Now the difference between what you're doing here and what you'll be doing at the end is, with the real jar, is this is going to be a lot soggier. So the thing to think about is to work quickly and don't use too much water and leave a thick enough bead at the top. If you take a half an hour to throw a jar and then you expect to get a nice flange out of it, you probably won't.
So this is where having the layer of slip on your hands would come in really, really handy.
Yeah, and you notice, I'm pulling it from other places and things like that. try not to use too much water. So there's lots of ways to do this, and I think Catriona showed you another way, and I'm trying to remember what it was. But the way that I usually show students how to make the flange is to think about that as a slightly rounded lump, wet this, and about 2/3 of the way over, okay? So the thicker, you want to leave more clay for the outside lip, so about, not 50%, but about 66.6666666666.
All the devil's numbers.
I go like that, okay? And I find a brush is handy for some of this. Put that in there. I'm smoothing that out a little bit now.
I don't want those blue brushes.
Yeah. And I'm basically just widening that out with the brush. As soon as I can get in with a tool or my fingers, I'll push this down. I don't want to get it too thin. Okay? And this way I've preserved some of the thickness of the rim, but I've also got a nice flange. Now the important part of the flange is where that curves. Some of you will, putting a curve into a curve is easier than putting a square into a curve. So you want to match the edges of your lids to whatever kind of form you have there. Now, some of you are going to say, well, that doesn't leave much room on the inside. If you want to make your flange a little narrower, you just take it like that. Okay? And I always give it a feel underneath to make sure that I haven't got too much thinness there. And if you want to round this out, you can do that. So what I want you to do before you start making these jars is to practice a few of these. And then what you can just do is to pinch them off, get rid of that, and start another one.
Keep the flange on the table.
Okay? So,
Can make a lid.
I'm going to do that again on the lip of the jar this time. So I'm just going to go back in and finish that jar.
So you want to leave 2/3 on the outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, so you want like 40% for the flange, not 60.
Yeah. And
60
you see
on the
that
outside.
you could even do less than that. You could even go 3/4 of the way over, depending on how much clay you've got there. You want at least 1/4 inch or so of the flange to stick out, because your lid won't fit perfectly, but you don't want it to come out too far. You won't be able to get things in and out of the jar. Okay? So, I'm just going to continue throwing and bringing out that bottom.
That bottom girls make this rock and roll go round.
You listened to that one, right? I
Yeah.
have the original album of that.
My dad used to have the white album, but then he sold it. And if he had just kept it, it would have been worth a shit ton of
I
money.
have all of that stuff. All in boxes.
But he had the original white album.
Yeah. I bought it when it came out.
But man,
That was the best Beatles album.
if you yeah. But if you sell that like in record,
Really?
like yeah, it's worth quite a bit.
How much is quite a bit?
In the grand, it's kind of
Really?
yeah.
Oh God.
Which album is this?
White album.
Oh,
I don't know why, but it is quite a bit of money.
That was considered, the Beatles got back, got sophisticated.
sophisticated. Well,
What the fuck is that noise?
I don't know. I want to go
Charlie
Beyonce
Manson
for
had
sure.
done his thing by then, so the world was no longer naive.
This demo is absolutely jarring. Could not just say.
Oh, you deserve punishment for that one.
I often just
Keep
do
a lid on
punishment.
it.
Do not encourage.
Don't I like this in fiber?
Not quite.
So I was in Derek's English class yesterday, and he had this like drawer that you would keep like dead insects in, and you know his work he does like he got all of the alphabets and put them on pins, like from an entire box of like alphabet cereal, and put them in these drawers. So he had all these like little alphabets that were like scientifically labeled. So I was like, so that's where Derek keeps all the A's. And he was like, okay, that one was actually good. You can actually have that. Because it got laughs, and his jokes never get laughs, so I won.
I have to give Derek my old typewriter. I promised it to him.
I want
he
a
was
typewriter.
really cute that he put on like a thing on like Twitter and stuff, asking for people to donate typewriters so he could use them for his class, and he's gotten basically none. People are like, oh, I'll rent you my typewriter, or how much do you want to buy it for? And he's like, all I want is for somebody to donate some typewriters for the sake of art, goddammit.
Yeah, he'll get mine. Tell him that next time you see him. I just been really busy.
I want a typewriter,
I think the last time
but I don't have any money right now, so fuck it. All my letters I'm ever gonna write are gonna be on a typewriter, just saying. I hate Christmas letters, but if I could write one on a typewriter, it would be worth it.
that was actually a
Ding.
hack that was going around the internet for a while. Somebody made a chromatic typewriter. Instead of letters, it typed out colors.
Huh.
Oh
That'd be
my
cool.
God.
It was pretty cool.
Well, that video that guy from Winnipeg made, we used the typewriter for that. We put the camera on the typewriter and just kept pressing the space bar.
I love
It's fun to
proper,
watch.
I love proper like mechanical typewriters.
Has anybody got one of those little yellow ribs?
Yeah, you used mine last time. I don't think mine's much smaller than yours, but it's smaller. Full of effort to get up.
Someone's alarm keeps going off.
Someone needs
Root through their bag.